On the news at 7, Governor Aiyedatiwa's cultural heritage as Mari Festival returns after 9 years. Akure civil engineers ushering new executives. Canada deports hundreds of Nigerians as immigration authorities intensify enforcement. United States forces storm Venezuela, capture president a midnight raid. Good evening and a warm welcome to the news. Kunle Kariyo is my name. The ancient town of Idori in a local government area of Ondo State erupted in music, vibrant colors and an air of cultural pride as the iconic Mari Festival staged and returned after 9 years. Thousands of residents and visitors packed Olofin Grammar School for the grand finale celebration of deep-rooted heritage. Ondo State Governor Loki Aiyedatiwa stood before an electrified crowd for hours, absorbing the infectious spirit of a community reclaiming a festival long feared lost to time. Government correspondent Baba Kole witnessed the event and a report. For many Ondo State residents and visitors, memories of the popular Mari Festival had faded since its last outing 9 years ago. The current administration under Governor Loki Aiyedatiwa has revived it, sparkling widespread delight. The frenzy and thrills, including the palpable joy among the people, were evident as they gathered for the event marking the celebration of rich cultural heritage of the ancient town of Idori and the Sunshine State. Star artist Teniola Akpata, fondly called Tenny Makanaki, said the festival aglow with her electrifying and melodious performance, sending waves of excitement through the arena. Local artist, entertainer Dr. Arutele, the award-winning state cultural troupe and the Idori cultural troupe also thrilled the audience with vibrant displays that added color and rhythm to the event. Commissioner for Culture and Tourism Adesoji Afolabi hailed the Mari Festival's return after 9 years as a proof of the Aiyedatiwa administration's dedication to cultural revival, grassroots development, and tourism as drivers of economic growth and peace. He added that the event has reignited hope, boosted cultural pride, and reaffirmed tradition's enduring role in Idori.
By bringing this festival back to Idori, we have rekindled hope, strengthened our cultural pride, and reaffirmed that our tradition truly matters.
Governor Loki Aiyedatiwa calls the Mari Festival's revival a bold cultural rebirth, urging Ondo State to safeguard its indigenous identity despite globalization, highlighting the state's diverse community festivals as embodiments of history, values, and unity.
We have brought to life again the Mari Festival. Here in Ondo State, we are very, very rich in culture. The various towns and communities with different festivals. That is what distinct us from one community to the other. Even though the world has become a global village where there is acculturation and enculturation, that is, culture has been moved from one country to the other. But there is still that culture mix that you can see in the display of our own people.
Governor Aiyedatiwa expressed delight at performances blending tradition with modern flair, especially young artists fusing rap and contemporary rhythm with the Idori language. He noted these displays prove culture can evolve without losing its essence. Explaining the festival's roots, Aiyedatiwa said Mari, deeply tied to Idori Hills, translates to "You Will Not Fall," a traditional encouragement for climbers tackling the iconic steep terrain. Governor Aiyedatiwa pledged a grander, more colorful Mari Festival in 2026, assuring close collaboration with the Ministry of Culture and Tourism to elevate the event.
This is the first time I will be attending Mari Festival too. During the time I was Deputy Governor, we did not organize anyone, but we are back now. I'm fully back. Fully back. I want to promise you that by next year, I'm coming here again in a bigger form.
From Idori, in Idori local government area of Ondo State, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Engineers have been advised to pay close attention to their health, considering the demanding nature of their profession. The advice was given during the investiture of the chairman of Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers, Akure chapter, alongside the inauguration of its 2025-2026 executives. Blessing of it reports.
Members of Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers, veterans of the profession, students, and other dignitaries gathered for the investiture of the chapter chairman and inauguration of newly elected executives. Chairman of NICE, Akure chapter, Razak Ejibunu, reflected on the steady growth of the institution and urged members to continue to uphold professionalism and ethical standards in practice.
I feel honored because God has always been by my side and is the one who promotes. So I am not the best engineer in the state, but God just saw me as somebody that could represent the chapter. All of us should come together and make the institution worthwhile.
The national chairman of NICE, Tokunbo Ajanoku, represented by the chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Akure branch, Oluwaseun Adeyeye, described civil engineers as critical drivers of national development and infrastructure growth.
As a civil engineer, we play a pivotal role in shaping infrastructure and support economic growth, safety, sustainability, and national development. As we inaugurate a new leadership era, we are reminded that progress is achieved through unity, innovation, ethical practice, and continuous professional development.
Ondo State Commissioner for Infrastructure, Lands and Housing, Ayanride Olawoye, represented by the Admin Secretary of the Ministry, Akinluyi Omotola, advised engineers to prioritize their health and well-being while carrying out their professional duties.
It's enough for engineering process to be sound, it's enough for it to be okay, but it's also more enough for us to manage our health, to manage all our data as we manage our projects, our health systems in terms of our blood counts, that's our blood pressure, in terms of our well-being.
The ceremony featured the administration of oath of office and the formal investiture of the chapter chairman.
Faithfully and in accordance with the memorandum.
Let's stand up.
So congratulations, sir.
Please rise to clap for our new chairman.
Members of the 2025-2026 Executive Council were also inaugurated.
Of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers. Nice.
Awards were presented to individuals in recognition of their outstanding contributions and leadership within the engineering profession. Blessing Obe, Osrc News.
We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll give you more stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. Chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, Joash Amokutan, has called on staff of the commission to work collectively to build an institution trusted by all and sundry and ensure that every eligible voter is empowered and every vote truly counts. In his New Year message, Professor Amokutan expressed optimism that credible electoral processes can be achieved through unity, discipline, and collective effort as preparation for the 2027 general elections gather momentum. Addressing national commissioners, resident electoral commissioners, directors, and staff nationwide, Amokutan said New Year represents a moment of renewal and deeper commitment to Nigeria's democratic projects. Reflecting on 2025, he commended INEC personnel for their dedication following his assumption of office on October 23rd and for the successful conduct of the Anambra State governorship election, which he said reaffirmed the sanctity of the ballot. Looking ahead, the INEC chairman said the commission must intensify preparations for the Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections scheduled for February, as well as the off-cycle governorship polls in Ekiti and Osun State. He stressed preparation for 2027 general elections remain paramount, adding that INEC's goal is to deliver a free, fair, credible, transparent, and inclusive poll. Justice Emeka Nwate of a Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned till January 7 to announce his decision on the bail application brought by a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, his son Abdulaziz Malami, and one of Malami's wives, Azabe Bashar. Abubakar Malami, his son and wife, are to remain at the Koje Correctional Center pending the ruling in the bail applications. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) arraigned the trio on a 16-count criminal charge bordering on money laundering. Though they had pleaded not guilty to all the charges, efforts by their lawyers led by Joseph Daujo to move an oral argument on the bail applications did not succeed, thereby leading to adjournment of the bail application. Malami and other two have been accused of conspiracy and concealment of proceeds of unlawful activities running into billions of naira. The Nigerian Defense Academy (NDA) has issued a warning about fake admission letters circulating online claiming to offer admission into the NDA 77 regular course. the academic's public relations officer, Major Ruben Ovagia, who alerted the public in a statement, said the letters circulating are not only fake, but obviously the antics of fraudsters whose sole intention is to defraud unsuspecting members of the public. They said the approved admission list of successful candidates and results for 77RC has been published in the national dailies, in 2 national dailies, and on NDA's official website, www.nda.edu.ng. Koyakija advised the public to disregard such letters or messages claiming to offer admission into NDA. Gunmen have attacked a village in the Plateau State, one pan-local government area, killing 7 people and injuring several others. The incident occurred in Bongo village, where the assailant launched a house-to-house attack targeting women, children, and the elderly. Residents described the attackers as scary, while survivors reported that the victims were mostly those who could not escape in time. Director of Press and Publicity to the chairman of the Wampan Council, Cletus Silvanus, confirmed the incident. The attack is the latest in a series of killings carried out by gunmen in Plateau villages in recent times. Nigeria's economic journey over the past 12 months represents a mixed picture of tough reforms, economic resilience, and cautious hope for recovery. The past years was largely shaped by government efforts to stabilize the economy amid global uncertainties, domestic structural challenges, and the lingering effects of earlier reforms. Omoshiliola Adesoyajayi takes a look at the economic trend in 2025.
The year 2025 marked a critical phase in Nigeria's economic journey, with efforts focused on stabilization, growth, and structural reforms. Inflation remained one of the most dominant economic issues throughout the year, driven largely by high food prices, energy costs, and the lingering effects of currency volatility. Many households continued to grapple with the rising cost of living, prompting renewed calls for stronger social intervention programs. The foreign exchange market also experienced significant adjustment. Ongoing reforms aimed at unifying exchange rates and improving transparency helped to reduce distortions, though the naira remained under pressure due to import dependency and foreign capital outflows.
The committee, however, acknowledged underlying inflationary pressures driven largely by high electricity prices, persistent foreign exchange demand pressure, and other legacy structural factors. The MPC noted new policies introduced by the federal government to boost local production, reduce foreign currency demand pressures, and thus lessen the pass-through to domestic prices. Given the relative stability observed in the foreign exchange market, members urged the bank to sustain the implementation of the ongoing reforms to further boost market confidence.
In the real sector, agriculture maintained its position as a major contributor to employment despite challenges such as climate variability, insecurity in food-producing regions, and high input costs. The government's renewed focus on mechanized farming and value chain development showed gradual impact towards the end of the year. The oil and gas sector recorded modest improvement, supported by increased production levels and efforts to curb oil theft. However, fluctuating global oil prices continued to affect revenue projections, reinforcing the need for economic diversification. Local production jacked up with the Dangote refinery ramping up daily oil production to around 50 million liters, a development that aided steady supply of PMS across the nation.
I think the federal government is saying no to importation of fuel into the country because the price at which those products are coming to the country is far, far higher than what is obtainable in Dangote refinery. So, and we as Nigerians, we are interested in buying from where we can get it cheaper.
We have seen the gains of having a refinery. I'm sure it's one of the, probably if not the largest forex earner in the country today for us. We have seen Dangote refinery export finished products to Europe and America, which for me is a plus to us as a people. And we have seen that even the strikes by oil and gas workers has not derailed the availability of fuel, which for me is a plus.
And when you also look at the price of petrol, it's also coming down, which is attributable to the competition, the gentle rivalry among the players.
Small and medium-scale enterprises, SMEs, emerged as key drivers of resilience in 2025 as digital innovation, fintech expansion, and youth-led enterprises helped sustain economic activity, particularly in urban centers, even as access to credit remained a concern. Economic analysts note that while Nigeria's economy showed signs of gradual recovery towards the end of the year, sustained growth would depend on policy consistency, improved security, private sector confidence, and inclusive development strategies.
I think 2025 was largely about companies and SMEs generally stabilizing from the shock of 2024 and late 2023. You know, the removal of subsidy, the attendant inflation. 2025 was about steadying the ship because many people entering into this year thought that the dollar was going to skyrocket. But it appears now that the dollar has stabilized. Maybe the naira has gained a few spaces with the dollar again, but it's not where we were before 2023. But at least there's stability. But of course, there are still issues with inflation, even though the government has tried to rebase inflation. But there is still inflation. The cost of petroleum products, fuel, petrol, diesel for running, even though they are now available, we don't have the perennial scarcity that puts businesses in problem. But again, it has stabilized, and we know it's available.
The new tax law was the high point of the present administration economic reform, which was signed by President Bola Tinubu.
Our priority is to strengthen tax governance, block revenue leakages, improve efficiency rather than just levy new taxes, charges, and costs.
It's a compulsory thing that everybody, directly or indirectly, will have to pay tax, which I think, to me, is good for the economy because tax is the primary source of income for the government. I think the government is in the right direction by implementing most of these tax policies, which is not bad one. Sincerely, it's not bad.
Your tax clearance with your state, we also do tax clearance with FIRs, which is federal. But now that they are merging everything together now, it makes a lot of sense. Yes, there have been controversies like the allegations of forgery, where I feel that if it is properly established, the presidency should apologize. And then we should revert to what the National Assembly set in place. But we should not use that as an excuse to throw away the baby with the bathwater.
The economic trend in 2025 underscores the reality of a nation in transition, balancing reform with resilience and navigating challenges while laying the groundwork for future stability. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
Still on economic stories, Nigeria's spending on medical tourism recorded a significant decline to 96.2% in the first half of 2025 compared to the same period in 2024, according to data released by Central Bank of Nigeria covering January to June of both years. Medical tourism spending stood at $2.38 million, driven largely by a sharp outlay in January. Spending opened the year at $2.30 million in January 2024 before dropping steeply through June. The trend indicates that while January 2024 recorded an unusually high spending spike, temperature tapered off significantly thereafter and failed to rebound meaningfully in 2025. As straight to the foreign scene, Canada has deported 366 Nigerian nationals in the last 1 year as immigration authorities intensified enforcement at a pace not seen in more than a decade. Figures from the Canada Border Services Agency removal programs also show that 974 Nigerians are currently listed under removal in progress, indicating they are awaiting deportation. The removals are occurring amid a broader immigration enforcement push by Canadian authorities. The Canadian government says the intensified deportation drive is part of efforts to meet tighter immigration targets and respond to challenges such as housing shortages, labor market strain, and border security concerns. Despite the rising deportation figures, Canada remains for Nigerians seeking improved economic and educational opportunities. US President Donald Trump says American forces have captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro following airstrikes on Caracas and other cities, marking a dramatic escalation in a month-long confrontation between the governments. In a rapidly unfolding sequence of events, residents of the Venezuelan capital were jolted awake by explosions and the sound of attack helicopters. The strikes, which targeted a major military complex and airbase and other sites, continued for nearly an hour. US Attorney General Pamela Bondi said Maduro and his wife would face the full wrath of American justice on American soil over drug trafficking and terrorism charges. The Venezuelan government has condemned what it described an extremely serious military aggression by the United States and called for an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council. We have come to the end of the bulletin tonight, but before we go, let's take a look at the main points. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has described the revival of the Mari Festival, powerful statement of cultural rebirth, declaring that despite globalization and cultural exchanges, Ondo State must preserve and celebrate its indigenous identity. We told you that a new set of executives have been sworn in to take charge of the affairs of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers, Accra chapter, for the next 1 year. Also, we informed you that Canada has deported 366 Nigerian nationals in the last 1 year as immigration authorities intensify enforcement at a pace not seen in more than a decade. Also, we informed you from the foreign scene that President Donald Trump has said in a televised address after Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro was captured and flown out of the country that the U.S. is going to run the country through a judicious transition. And that's it on the news at 7. Thank you for being a part of it.